نحمده ونصلي ونسلم ala rasulihil kareem. Our today's session is basically from 11, inshallah, and there will be a speech from Sheikh. And basically, we will be discussing some core topics regarding the risk management in Sharia compliant digital products. Uh, as we have been mm, discussing some topics regarding the tokenization, regarding some digital products, and the Sharia compliance part of it. Today shall be focusing more on the risk management. For example, if in any of these new products, something is going to be non-compliant, then what can be these things and how to mitigate these kind of new risks maybe. So I shall start and give an introduction of today's session, and then for the specialized and expert opinions, I shall request Dr. Mufti Abdul Mubeen Saab to please be on board, and inshallah we will discuss on these things. So let's start from today's session, and the main topic of today's session is the risk management. In the digital sphere, in the when as the infrastructure is being changed, processes is being changed, the core values should be there. We have been talking about amana. We have been talking about the truthfulness in the businessman in the business, and how we should be able to make all these products Sharia compliant. But as the processes are changing and different new procedures are being developed, the risks details are being changed. For example, when we used to do work on the papers, the one of the major risk was that what if all the papers are being destroyed, or someone theft these kind of papers and documents, and even the thieves used to come to the safes and get out the documents and papers from there. And once this kind of theft has been performed by someone, you have lost all the details what you had in terms of data, in terms of reports, in terms of these things. While after this digital innovation and revolution, I think many details have been changed. If someone even takes my data, I have it with me. Number one. Number two, the data breach and data theft has revolutionized as well. And some people are now even selling the data to other people and to other organizations. Same case is with the Sharia compliance. When we used to do these kind of transactions through non-digital transactions, the real asset was there, alhamdulillah, and real asset is also there, alhamdulillah, even after the digitalization. But the procedures have changed, the situations have changed, therefore the risks have changed. Different kind of risk has emerged, and the mitigation technique should be there, and we should be able to understand. And more importantly, I should say that the investors should learn what kind of new risk may be there, and how we may be able to mitigate these kind of risks. It is because many a times when an investor invests in some kind of digital product, after 5 months or 6 months, when he is not going to have he fulfill his expectations or what he was trying to have, he says that it is maybe something Ponzi, or it's maybe something not clear or vicious. So I think awareness is one of the very core point that should be addressed, especially on the investors part as well. They should know, if I am going in a digital product, the Sharia compliance of that digital product will is of which nature, and which kind of risks are being addressed, and how they are going to mitigate it, and how I am going to mitigate my risk. So this topic is of quite importance, and I have not seen many webinars or many talks being happening on this topic. Now, in the next slide, I'm just going to give an introduction of the Sharia compliant digital products, as we have already discussed, the tokenized these assets. For example, we have a real estate, maybe in Canada or maybe in Middle East, and we are going to tokenize it. The fractional tokens are going to be exchanged, and basically there will be many owners of only one asset, only one studio apartment. Uh, Moreover, we are going to manage these kind of assets through fintech. It may be many humans will be eliminated, and it will be machine doing the KYC. It will be AI doing the many of the assessment procedures. It will be uh, the technology and apps being used for the communication. So if all these is going to happen in the sphere of Islamic finance, then it becomes Islamic fintech. The objective is to discuss the unique risk. As I already mentioned, what are the strategies for mitigation and compliance with Sharia principles? And it's very important. Just to give an example, for example, if I'm going to mitigate one of my risks in any of my business, for example, I think, oh, it can be a risk, so I should give an interest-based loan to someone, so that in case of any risk, I shall be able to recover it. But that is interest-based loan. It is not permissible. So the mitigation techniques should be compliant as well. So in the next slide, uh, I'm going to discuss what.
Mufti Rafiq Sahab, just I would like to add here
Yes.
a few points on this slide for the more clarity for our audience on that one. So as Mufti Saab mentioned about that these tokenization or fintech, or if we say in nowadays the cryptocurrencies or digital asset, there are lot of activities is going on around the world on this one, and maybe in after 5 to 10 years, our most of the financial sector maybe uh, move towards the digitalization, because I have seen a lot of banks are working on that one, and they are entering in this world. And also, I have seen some fintech, Islamic fintech facilitator, or you say that some Islamic fintech companies, they started the platform where they are actually giving the opportunities to customers that they will join this platform, and they will do the sale and purchase through this platform. As mentioned, right now this tokenization is going on in the world of real estate. But however, now these fintechs company, they are moving towards the other type of asset as well, which include Islamic sukuk, alternate of bonds in Islamic side. So the fractions are going to for the sukuk as well, and some fintechs company, they are trying that. The size of sukuk actually it is very big, and everyone cannot invest in this one. So they are going to fractionalize this sukuk, and they are selling out the portion, maybe $100, $200, $500, something. So they are making the thousand fractions of this sukuk, and want that uh, maximum people they can invest in this one, and they can enjoy the benefit of this one. Likewise, some fintechs, they are trying to do the fractionalize in the world of gold and silver as well, and they are trying that the gold and silver, they will also be accessible to everyone. Just not only the rich people they can invest in the gold, but maybe just if someone has the $500 or $200 or $1,000, so he can also invest in gold as well. So this is another world where actually now we are going to move and entering. So this is very interesting. So just I would like to give some areas where also these fintech companies are interested to enter and work in this one. Please, Dr. Rafiq, Umar Rafiq, you
Thank you.
can
Uh,
proceed.
Thank you, Mufti Saab, for this addition, and it's really beneficial for us to understand which kind of digital innovations are being happening in the world. So the next topic is regarding the importance of Sharia compliance. We have been basically repeating this topic, and we all consider that this topic is should be very near to our hearts, because whatever we are going to do, whether digital or non-digital, it should be Sharia compliant. As Muslims, it's our responsibility to align with ethical and religious guidelines and maintain the trust among Muslim investors and stakeholders. It has been a great problem, I think. Many of the people are able to trust on the non-Muslim organizations more than the Muslim organizations. What are the reasons behind that, and how should we be able to create a trust inside in the community, that the all the people of community, either Muslims or non-Muslims, should be able to trust on us, and it will happen when we disclose each and the transparency, when we maintain the transparency and disclose the as much as possible from the information, so that the investor knows where my money is going and how I'm going to earn. So the truth is the key, and therefore, inshallah, in all the tokenized assets, the transparency is important, and as we shall discuss in the future, in the coming slides, that blockchain is the solution to maintain that trust, inshallah. So in the next slide, uh, just to talk about the tokenized assets, we should understand that the real asset is the asset in which we are going to invest. So there should be an underlying asset in any of the sukuk structure. Moreover, in the tokenization, there should be a real asset, and in that real asset, people are going to invest, and that asset is then being represented through these tokens. Now these tokens, basically, for example, if I say I have 5 tokens, one is in that represents the real estate in Canada, the second represents the real estate in Dubai, and maybe the other one in Karachi. So basically, when I have these tokens, I have 3 shares in 3 different assets. When the appreciation of these assets goes up and they appreciate, I'll get that appreciation part. Moreover, if they generate an income, I'll get that part. So not only the capital gain, but the periodical gain as well will be attained by me while I am not, neither I'm in Dubai nor in Canada nor in Karachi. So the tokenized assets is a have great potential, and it's very practical solution for the to have assets and investment and to gather the investments. Number two, now let's discuss the relevance. What is going to happen if we are going to tokenize the assets? First of all, one is able to own something, very fractional part of it. What I was not expecting to have, for example, I am not able to buy a complete apartment in Dubai, but I can have some 10% of it or maybe 1% of it. Moreover, the increased liquidity. The important thing is whenever I invest in real estate, it's easy to enter the money, but it's very difficult to get the money out of it. So when you have the fractional ownership, yes, I cannot sell the whole apartment to someone, and it will take around maybe 6 months or 1 year to sell it, and it may be not sold on the price that I was expecting. But when I'm going to sell only 1% of it or only 5% of it, many people will be able to have it because it's not a huge amount. Number three is the reduced transaction cost. All of these things are going to happen through blockchain. So the infrastructure is very low cost. For example, the work that was being done by 10 people, maybe that is going to be executed by only one person who is basically supervising the procedures being followed by the blockchain and the technology. Therefore, the transaction cost is going to minimalize, especially in Islamic finance. there have been many transactions, and when they involve the real assets, many additional costs involved. But when inshallah these things are going to be digitalized, these transaction cost will be reduced as low as possible, so that it will be easier. It will have a good margin for the investors, and it will be easier as well. So basically, one fourth part is missing. That is the easy and easier interface for the person. It's not easy to go to bank and sign a lot of documents to have the ownership of an apartment. But it's very easy to just click 5 times or 10 times on the documents, read the documents, and then go towards the and have the ownership of it. So from the next slide, inshallah, I'll request Mufti Saab to please shed light on these risk-related points.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da. As our uh, uh, brother Rafiq, Umar Rafiq mentioned that the main uh, objective of this webinar is we cover the Sharia non-compliance risk in tokenization. So if we look into this discussion, so we will find five major points which we need to highlight, and we need to keep in our mind when we are going to invest or when we are going to start this business. So the first risk, which is actually when we talk about, obviously this is the Sharia non-compliance risk. Obviously, we have heard a lot about that one whenever we talk about Islamic finance or Islamic fintech. So the main thing which come here, which is about Sharia non-compliance risk, where we actually discuss about that, um, how we actually mitigate and how we can ensure that our asset or our transaction is totally Sharia compliant. This is the main actually backbone of of the Islamic business, or you say the this full activity. So as always we heard about that Sharia always about that wherever we invest, it should be Sharia compliant investment. And when we invest, so we will see that where actually we are going to invest our money. So we cannot invest in riba, where we find that the asset is involved in interest activities. So we cannot go and buy the share over there. And also, can we go to the next slide on that one? And also, we cannot invest in the in the activities where the gharar actually is involved over there. So these are the two main activity where we are not allowed to go and invest. So the same thing we have to keep in our mind when we are entering into the digitalized world, and we want to invest in tokenization or in tokenized asset or in some fractional basis investment. And also the same there should be wherever we are going, we see that the halal activities are going over there. Haram activities, if we are going in a business in active in investment where any haram activities is involved, such as we cannot buy the fractional part of some alcohol company, and also we cannot invest in some non-Sharia, ethical non-Sharia compliant activities such as pornography, or also our Sharia scholars nowadays they are not encouraging to invest in some tobacco type of companies. So we have to ensure that the underlying asset must be Sharia compliant. So, what is the purpose of that one? Obviously, that when we are saying that our business is Sharia compliant, so we need to keep credibility, maintain the credibility of the company, of the platform, and also we need to keep the to keep maintain the trust of our customer, client, and investors. So these are the very important element to gain the trust that our the activities remain Sharia compliant. So this is the Sharia risk which is we can find in such type of activity. And next slide, can move to the next slide. So in the next slide, we can see how we can mitigate Sharia non-compliance risk. So there are the few points I mentioned over here that establish a Sharia governance framework. It is nowadays, if we see that in Islamic finance, we are looking in some countries that the regulator already involved in Islamic finance world, and they actually started introducing the Sharia governance framework for the country. So this is very important. If we have the Sharia governance framework, so there is some regulation, and through this regulation, actually, the activities of the company or FinTech world can be managed very well. So this is the number one point. Number two, regular review that this Sharia governance framework. Maybe there is a possibility in some countries where a regulator does not involve over there, but however, the Sharia activities can be monitored through the regular Sharia review, Sharia audit that the Sharia board or Sharia advisory committee they will supervise the activity of the fintech company, and they can on a regular basis they conduct a review and audit, and they maintain the Sharia compliance risk in the company. And also now, because we are entering into the automated world these times, so the automated compliance check system can also be introduced, and now we can see some of companies or some of the firms, they are working on that one, and some already introduced some automated compliance check system. So it is recommended to this fintech related companies, they should implement this automated compliance check system. So at least what happened is through automated compliance system, I'm not saying that 100% it ensure the Sharia compliance, but at least this system actually raise alert whenever there is some non-Sharia compliance activity happens within this company. So this system actually alert, and this system will raise the red flag, and through this one, the management of the company can understand that there is some problem happens, and some issues arises. So they will go and check this one. So that's why it is recommended that the automated compliance system should be implemented, and also obviously through this system, actually human intervention also become reduced through this way. Otherwise, for this system, maybe you need 4 to 5 people, but through this system, maybe 1 or 2 person is enough to monitor these things, and whenever the issue is, so they will contact to the Sharia scholars or the Sharia committee members, and resolve this issue. And the last point relating to that one is regular update of new Sharia compliance standards as new Sharia interpretation and guidelines emerge. So this is also very important. We keep the fintech company, actually they must be aware what is going on in the market, what development is going on related to Sharia compliance, and if there is some standards are introduced, so or new guideline actually introduced by the Sharia scholars or by the regulators, so they must be aware with this one to implement in their business and in their company. So these are the some risk mitigation for Sharia non-compliance related risk. Move to the next slide. The next is regulatory challenges. This is, as I mentioned earlier, that now in some countries we can see that there is regulation, but in fintech area, I don't think that any regulator involved in detail in to develop the regulations for the Islamic fintech. I didn't see, and as per my knowledge, there is no regulator who actually introduce any framework regarding these fintech related activities. However, in general, we can find that they actually gave some regulations related to financial activities. So through this way, we can say that some regulations are over there, but there is some detailed framework is important to be introduced, and this will be implemented to bring the standardization in this world. So if we see that there is a very different type of, as I mentioned, that there is no specific framework, but each and every country has a different type of rulings and different type of regulations. So that's why there is no standards over there. Still, we can see in some countries they allowed blockchain activities, they allow cryptocurrency. There is no problem from legal perspective to invest in this in this world, in this crypto, or in this tokenization or fractional type of business. But in some countries still they are hesitated, and they did not pass any regulations about that one. And therefore still, if we see our Sharia scholars, they are also have the different opinion on the cryptocurrency and fractional activities from a business perspective. So as here is example, so is Dr. Umar, you want to add something over here from this Swiss regulations perspective?
Okay, and I think um, the time is short as well. So I would just like to add to the point that in Switzerland, there has been a neutrality technological framework being deployed by the Swiss government. As far as the regulation is concerned, I think in some forward slides, we also have some regulatory details, and I would like to move to these slides so that we can discuss all the regulatory details in that slide, inshallah. Uh, I think it is in the next slide. Okay, so just to summarize it, as Mufti Sahab said, in many of the jurisdictions there is no regulation available. But just to name, for example, in Dubai, and the regulation is being happening, and now they are allowing the digital assets to be being traded in the secondary market as well. As far as the Switzerland is concerned, they have already deployed a framework, a technology framework, neutrality framework, named as Swiss framework for these tech-based institutions, and focusing on the transaction of the assets. This DAO basically is decentralized augmenting organization. As it is discussed that there are different kind of risks in the different sphere. So when people invest, and these platforms gather the crowdfunding, sometimes they show that it is in the real assets, and sometimes it is not. So real assets, so existence of the real asset is basically one of the very great mitigation techniques for these tokenization platforms. Why? Because when the real asset is there, one is established, and one is more focused on the because it is related to the real asset, not only to the technological infrastructure. So infrastructure is there to help the transaction and processes, but The real asset is there to ensure the trust, and people should know that this is there. While the DO Hack 2016, it didn't have any real state um, back behind it. Therefore, it created a $50 million loss. And it is reported in the ENY tokenization of assets document. I would like to share it as well with the viewers as well. They may check what ENY has talked about it. So the vulnerabilities are there, and it is because the regulator is not there, and regulator is not there because the awareness has not yet reached the point where it should be, and the demand, although it's exponential. For example, we can see the Bitcoin now it's going to increase, and the token assets it's going to increase, but uh, the regulator is still behind it. We can talk the regulation in Pakistan and maybe in some other countries as well. They have not been able to ensure the detailed legal frameworks for it. Especially till now, we are not talking about the currencies, but other than currencies, regarding the tokenization and crowdfunding, even the regulation is far behind. Uh, I would like to request Mufti Sahab to please
Okay.
take 10 minutes to conclude
Okay,
it.
okay, okay, okay. I will. So when we how we can mitigate the regulatory risk? Actually, two things are very important over here: to collaborate with regulator bodies, so to develop and implement a standardized framework for Islamic digital finance. Number one. Number two is that engage compliance and legal expert to actually to navigate cross jurisdictional regulations, so they will collect and gather these regulations and then implement in the digital Islamic digital finance. So these are the two mitigation for this one. And then on cybersecurity's risk, the next slide. So I think Dr. Rafiq has already discussed about that one. But however, in cybersecurity risk mitigation, how we can do it? So these are the we need to implement robust cybersecurity measures, which include encryption, multi-factor authentication. This is very important because now there is a cybersecurity threat is in each and every digital world. There is always the threat over there, so there should be encryption and multi-factors authentications should be involved, so it can mitigate the risk in this area. And also the regular security audits and vulnerability assessment is going on. As I mentioned, that there should be an expert who actually on a regular basis they conduct the audits, and they check the system, and they ensure that there is no threat and there is no attempt in the in the business of this digital finance, and ensure reliable data backup and disaster recovery plans. This is also very important if something happen over there. So the fintech company, they are ready to have the backup for that one, and recovery mechanism over there. These are the three main mechanism which they need to have to maintain when they offer these activities. We can move to the another slide, which is related to technology and smart contract risks. You know that because this is the digitalized world, so there should be a smart contract involved. And there, as mentioned, that the vulnerabilities and coding errors always remain over there, which can lead to the malfunctioning transactions. So these threats always remain in technology. This is also in Islamic fintech as well, which is very much important for the Islamic fintechs company, that they have to mitigate this risk as well in their business. So next slide, actually, we mentioned that how we can mitigate this risk. So number one is which is due diligence framework is very important. That who is actually investing and how they are the investment is coming over there. So this mechanism is very important to mitigate this risk. And then number two, implement fail safe mechanism like multi signature approvals and circuit breakers to pause transaction if vulnerabilities are detected. So the system should be very much smart when the threat comes there. So the system automatically start working on that one. And then again, as I mentioned in earlier slide, that again use rigorous testing, auditing, and formal verification for smart contracts. It is very important. So we can realize actually we are connect the right person or we are connect to the wrong person. So this is also very important. So test system and audit must be going on over there. And obviously very important, which is Sharia advisor when we develop this contract. So Sharia advisor or Sharia committee must be involved over there, who actually ensure the Sharia compliance of this contract. So these are the risks which we can mitigate through this way for to avoid any discrepancy in this. Uh, we move to the next slide, which is operational challenges. They are very important. That there is complexity in integrating blockchain system with existing frameworks. This is the challenge because uh, 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 so many questions are over there. Still, people are not very much comfortable to move in this system. So this is also a challenge over there because people are not accepting still. There is, in the world there is a people who are not going to accept that one, and they think that this is not workable. So this is the challenge. And then human or system errors can disrupt digital product function and compromise sensitive user information or misuse of personal information. Is still some people believe, and there is, as I mentioned, that there is a threat always remain that maybe the sensitive information should be leaked, and people and it happens. It already happens that sometimes the attempt done over this system, and the sensitive information leaked to the market. So this is operational challenge over there. And then resistance from traditional stakeholders. As I mentioned, that still there is some traditional stakeholders who are already working a similar work, but they don't believe on the digitalization. So there is a resistance from that side. And because of this reason, what happen if it is not protected and there is no mitigation over there? So what happen? This result in privacy violation, harming customers' trust, and potentially violating Sharia's ethical standards. So if this risk should not be mitigated, so then what happen? Actually, the customer trust will be lost, and ethical standards, Sharia ethical standards breach will happen over there, because Sharia always says that maintain the trust, maintain the amana, and because of this reason, maybe some sensitive information or personal information will be leaked and will go to the market. So that's why the company may lose their trust from the customer. And how we can mitigate this one? Solution for that one: develop the data privacy protocols in line with both Sharia and international standards framework for tokenization. So we need to develop the protocol and privacy protocol which actually align with the Sharia and also international standards as well. And encrypt personal data, use decentralized identity solutions, and limit access to sensitive information. So this is encryption is very important over there. And also uh, is, there is there are very minimal people who are actually involved in this world. So now we need to train the staff to who knows actually about how the risk can be managed, and cyber, and they are very much aware about the cyber securities. And also number 4 point is that education is very important from both sides, the fintech people who are actually working on that one, and also the stakeholders, and also the investors. All of them actually, they are aware, and they know how actually the operations work, how it can go. So these are the some mitigation from that perspective, and I hope that we have covered all the um, points related to the risk mitigations. Happy to hear the questions if anyone has. Uh,
Um,
but just
and
only one more point I would like to tell you, that there is still lot of work is required to do in this in this world. This is just only the start. This is not the on the developed stage, because new things are coming, new threats are entering, new activities are entering over here. So that's why still there is lot of work are required to be done. Lot of research is required to be done. A lot of system required to be implemented to mitigate and to align with this system. So we always keep in our mind that this is not full and final shape of this risk mitigation, but whatever activities has been done till now. So around these activities, these are the few thoughts which is presented from the risk management perspective. Thank you very much, and
I'm
happy to
really
answer.
thankful, Chief, for the this informative session. Here are a lot of questions, and I would like to start from the question that is. He asked that what exactly are the difference between standardizing and harmonizing these standards? Standardizing and harmonizing these standards. What is the difference between these two things? Nabila Arifin.
I'm not clear on this one, that harmonizing and standardizing, what actually you want to understand. Standardization, obviously, it means that, just for example, I give you that we have in Islamic finance, we have the AOFI Sharia standards. Okay, so these Sharia standards actually um, established and developed by um, by the advising of scholars from the different worlds. They actually sit together, and then by their opinions, and they develop the standards for the whole Islamic finance world actually. And this AOFI standards, day by day, if we see that the every day we can see that the some countries, they are actually adopting that one, or on an individual basis, some companies, they are going to adopt these standards, Sharia standards framework. So this is the standardization, that you have with the collective opinion of the scholars, you have some standards, and then you can apply that one into their jurisdictions. So some regulators, they already adopted, and individually some banks or some individual financial institution, they adopted that one. So such type of standardization actually required in this fintech world as well, that there should be some Sharia standards. I'm talking, whatever we discuss here, we discuss from the Sharia perspective. So Sharia standardization is also required over there, because still there is, as I mentioned, we didn't talk on that one, but I just give some few words about that one. That still there is a different opinion on this blockchain world. Some scholars they allow, some scholars they does not allow, some scholars they still maintain silence. They said we can't say, we need some more information. So still there is some different type of opinion. So there should be some standardization over there. Maybe there is some people they are some scholars they are not happy. They don't happy, but a majority must be agreed on some standards opinion, and then this opinion or this standards structure should be implemented for all fintech, Islamic fintech world. So this is
Okay,
the
thank you.
standardization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are basically a lot of questions. I would like to just select only one or two, as the time is also short. One of the question is regarding the in the absence of regulations, framework, or guidelines. For example, in Pakistan, um, uh, is it possible to launch it here in Pakistan, or we shall wait regard till the regulation?
No, actually, this question should be asked by the legal. They will give you the good answer on that one. But from Sharia perspective, as far as you follow the Sharia principles, and you are allowed to start some company on a financial basis. So if you follow the existing regulations and you start some business on a fintech basis, you can start it. But the important thing from our perspective is that if you are saying that this is the Islamic and Sharia compliant, so then you have to follow the Sharia principles in your offering. This is important thing. But it is from because the regulator is not there. Because of this reason, we cannot say that we stop and we wait till the regulator says something. No, as far as we are in the financial framework and we start something under the financial regulations, so we can start it. However, we ensure that we have the Sharia scholars, we have the Sharia board who can advise on our offering on our activities.
Okay. Thank you, Shay. One last question, I think, because there are many, and I think we shall request all the questioners to please send these through the email shared by SN, and we shall be able to reply these through emails because the time is now not available. So one of the last question is, in mitigating the risk, we have mentioned AOFI. He is asking that IFSB is relevant, or AOFE is relevant while the discussion of mitigation of risk, especially in this Islamic fintech details.
Yeah, AOFE is more. AOFE is more relevant because this is actually giving the Sharia, uh, purely Sharia related, Sharia guideline. So it is more relevant from the Sharia perspective. So we first, whenever we go and start our business, so we have to first look into the AOFE standards for that one. It is more relevant.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Sheikh, for all the answers to the questions, and I apologize basically from the people who has already asked a lot of questions, and I think many of the questions are relevant, and many of the questions are related to some other topics as well. But it is very good to know that people are now they are anxious about it. They want to know about these things, and I think. Hassan, we may do a separate session just only for the question answers, and I think it will make 1 hour complete. So, in order to just to discuss the basics of digital assets, and especially Mabrook, how is Mabrook is going to launch these things in Canada, and how the other people from outside Canada shall be able to invest in the tokens issued by Mabrook. As we I thank basically Essen and Mabrook management especially to organize this webinar for us, and we are able to talk on a new topic that is going to happen inshallah. And as far as the Mabrook progress is concerned, mashallah, it's going to do the licensing arrangements, inshallah, and they are going to launch it, inshallah, in the coming month, maybe. So it's I think for these question answers, we may have a complete session to discuss all the questions, and then we shall be focusing only on the question, not on the speech, inshallah. So over to you, Ehsan.
Jazakallah Sheikh for giving your precious time. I know time is running out. That's why we are closing the session today early. But what whoever has sent this question, Mabrook is developing the question bank. Whenever you are asking questions in a webinar, don't feel that your questions are unanswered or we are not answering. We just want to answer them in a right manner. So we are developing a question bank. Sometimes the questions are repeated, sometimes they are new. And we will be answering all these questions in a video format. The founders of Mabrook, Atif, Ares, and Fahad will be answering themselves these questions. And if you follow Mabrook YouTube channel, you will start seeing these answers coming from January onwards. I myself will be answering these questions in Urdu language. You might have answers in Arabic language. All these questions will be answered in Arabic language also, in a French language also, in English and Urdu language also for your ease. So don't feel that you have spent your time here, you're asking questions you're not answered. If the questions are not relevant to the topic that we are taking at the moment, that's why we are not able to answer them now because time is precious. However, I have people raise hand. Sadaqat Saab, we have Shahaz Ahmed Saeed Saab. If Sheikh have like 2 more minutes, I can take them. If you Sheikh allow, inshallah. Thank you, Sheikh. I'll Sadaqat Saab to answer, but we will keep it very brief. Please try to keep it very brief because it's not my time. It's the time of Sheikh that is giving to us. Thank you very much. Sadaqat Saab, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Mufti Mubeen Sahib and Mufti Umar and Hassan. Because time is short, so I will not raise the question. And I would like to thanks to Mr. Mubeen and Brother Umar and Hassan for conducting this session. This is actually awareness session, which is very
Exactly
needed and time requirement. And thank you for spending time for spreading awareness among the investors.
Thank you, Sadaqa Sahab. You said very well that this is just only introductory. As I mentioned, that lot of actually awareness and knowledge is required in this area. Still, Sharia scholars and also the legal expert, and you are mashallah also the part of this world. You know that everyone is involved in these activities and they are working on that one. But still, there is no end. So a lot of development and lot of knowledge and are required to in research especially to be conducted. Thank you very much for your joining, Sadaqa Sahab. Mashallah, Sadaqa Sahab is our senior and is actually he is the expert in this area. Mashallah, thank you very much, Sadaqa Sahab.
And just I would like to I would like to suggest that a separate session should be arranged for the tokenization because a lot of people need clarification and they have questions which could not be responded now. So, as suggested by Brother Umar, separate session is very essential.
Indeed,
Yes,
indeed.
Sadaqa Sahab, actually this session is on the actually Sharia risk management. So we just only discuss from the Sharia risk management. We didn't discuss about the tokenization. We didn't go in detail of that one because we thought that normally people already aware about that one. But if they want to know more, obviously they can manage it. But Sharia compliance risk management, I don't think that too much
this is very
thought
specific,
has been done on that one.
area.
Yes,
Yes, I
you're
like
right.
it.
Thank
you.
More. And
Thank
one
you.
more shit I will think. Brother Shiraz, you want to say a few words? Please, I suggest do not ask a question. You can type your question. We sure you will answer. If you want to say something, I've unmuted you. Brother Jabir, Suleiman, you want to say something? And then inshallah we'll close the session.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Even though time is over, we really appreciate this session. We have benefited a lot. We pray the Almighty Allah to reward you abundantly.
Ameen.
My question is very, very brief. This topic, especially FinTech, financial technology, is very, very new area. So maybe for those who are specialized in Sharia and fiqh and usul fiqh, especially if they want to master this area, issue of tokenization, issue of financial technology, so they want to deepen their knowledge. So what advice can you give us, or maybe if there is some materials or books, maybe you will advise us maybe to go and read. We need to have this kind of mentorship. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sheikh, for your question. Thank you, Brother Jafar, for your question. Inshallah, we will get back to you. Sheikh, thank you. मैं तहे दिल से आपका शुक्रगुजार हूँ. I will say it in Urdu कि आपने अपना वक्त दिया, कीमती वक्त दिया, और हम तमाम लोग जो है वो आपके शुक्रगुजार हैं कि आपने अपना वक्त निकाला. मबरूक आपका शुक्रगुजार है. आपका मबरूक है कि जो है वो आप आए इस वक्त और आपने हमें टाइम दिया और अपनी नॉलेज शेयरिंग करी. मुफ्ती उमर, आपका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया for this. Sheikh, last word, dua for Mabrook on the people who have joined the session, inshallah.
Ehsan, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much for organizing such type of webinar, and this is very important from awareness perspective. And I am very I appreciate Mabrook that Mabrook actually started such type of activities. एंड बहुत बहुत आपका शुक्रिया और उम्मीद करता हूँ मैं कि इंशाल्लाह आइंदा भी आप लोग इस किस्म की जो है वो चीज़ों को करते रहेंगे. अगेन आई से दैट दिस इज जस्ट ओनली द प्रीलिमिनरी डिस्कशन ऑन दैट वन, दिस इज नॉट द लास्ट. सो हो सकता है कि कुछ लोगों के ध्यान में हो कि अभी इस पे और कुछ हमने था सुनना है. बिल्कुल इसके ऊपर बहुत कुछ सुनना है, हमारे लिए बहुत कुछ बाकी है जो हमने करना है इसके ऊपर. एज आवर ब्रदर जाबिर मेंशन दैट he needs some books or some articles over there. Yes, from research perspective also there is a requirement that the material should be produced and should be written on that one. So inshallah whatever the available over there we try to share with you. And but still I request the scholars who are sitting over here, and they will also conduct the research, and whatever they find they can write and they can share their ideas on that one as well. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. इंशाल्लाह we see you again. हमारी दुआएं मबरूक के साथ. बिल्कुल मबरूक को अल्लाह तबारक व तआला मबरूक बनाए. आमीन. इसको जो है वो खूब लोगों के लिए बरकत वाली चीज बनाए कि लोगों को इससे बरकत मिले इंशाल्लाह. थैंक यू. जज़ाकल्लाह. वालेकुम अस्सलाम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातहू. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर एवरीवन.